Just because his girlfriend became unusually cold, he deliberately poured beer on her body. The girl only thought that her boyfriend should get up and change clothes. But as soon as she left, the boyfriend quickly grabbed the phone without the screen locked, then took out a card reader from her pants pocket and copied all the information in her phone down. Seeing the message between his girlfriend and best friend, the man's nerves tense immediately. He found out that after his girlfriend entered the company, his best friend next to her advised her to find someone with good conditions. My best friend even said that he knew a handsome guy driving a BMW M4. If you're interested, I'll introduce you. The conversation between the girls was not a big deal, but the half-hearted attitude of the girlfriend make him realize that he has been betrayed. You just keep that person to yourself. Don't introduce it to anyone. At this time, the man's contemplation was even stronger. When he got home, he hugged his suspicious girlfriend who was folding clothes and then pushed her off the bed immediately. Oh, look, I haven't even taken a shower yet. It's okay. Wait, do you have a raincoat? Don't you like to play naked? Leave it for another day. The man said it's okay. We're going to get married anyway, but the girlfriend still tries to push him out. At this time, the man wanted to make everything clear, but this message alone could not prove anything. So, he can only swallow what he is going to say and put on his pants, get angry and crawl into the blanket, or let me go by. Faced with his girlfriend's concessions, he did not reciprocate. And at this time, he couldn't have imagined that tomorrow there would be a man entering his girlfriend's life. The girl was resting on the table. At this time, a man brought her a can of coffee. The man said that when he came back from the vending machine empty-handed, he guessed that he was not carrying any coins. Hearing this, the girl felt very emotional, but she still said that this type of coffee was her favorite. At this time, the man took another can from his pocket, saying that he also likes to drink this kind of drink when he works. It seems that we have the same interests and tastes. During the conversation, the girl knew that he was a study abroad returner, not only had a job in Seoul, but the annual salary was up to 40 million won. Seeing that the other party was so excellent, the girl did not stop praising her continuously. But at this moment, she was shocked and stood still. She found that her boyfriend suddenly came to the company to pick her up from work. After that, she turned her head to look at the man she'd just met. My friend has come to pick me up. Let's go first. Okay. Goodbye. After speaking, Yunmi hurriedly ran towards her boyfriend. And her boyfriend asked her who the other man was. She just coldly said that it was a colleague at the company. But on the way home, the boyfriend still couldn't look at it and said his doubts. Asked her why she glanced at that person and even gave him her phone number. The girlfriend said that he used drinks to approach her. She had no interest in him at all. But at this time, her boyfriend did not listen to the explanation, constantly shouting at her. Why do you say that? Why are you screaming at me like that? The girl couldn't bear to be slandered by her lover, so she angrily slammed the door and left. The next day, the man realized his mistake, actively apologized, and begged his girlfriend for forgiveness. He also said that he had prepared a romantic dinner by candlelight tonight. The man was afraid that his girlfriend would not forgive. At this time, he was nervous and biting his nails incessantly, even biting his hands without knowing it. However, his girlfriend told him that he had made an appointment to have dinner with a colleague tonight. Seeing this brief answer, the man's intention to apologize dissipated. Instead, there was overflowing anger. He couldn't look at it, but uttered a curse. When she got off work, the girl didn't just laugh at the man yesterday. The other party even put his hand on her back, but the girl was not aware of the world. All of them were seen by their boyfriends hiding nearby. At this time, the boyfriend was not only angry, but also heartbroken. He followed the two to the bottom of the apartment building. He waited until the lights in the room went out, then he was going to catch them. But at this moment, he suddenly stopped. In his hand, the words of the mistress manager sounded. You must do it my way. But soon, I will help you and Miss Din enter the hall hand in hand. The man who trusted his girlfriend very much. Until attending my best friend's wedding. He just looked back at his love and his girlfriend. At the wedding, he discovered that his best friend was so stressed that he vomited. So, he mocked his best friend, who had never been a boy. Unexpectedly, his best friend said that it was not stress, but marriage that really made him feel disgusted. While the man was still confused, my best friend said that the two of you are also getting married. I advise you to go for counseling before you get married. Now, there are many companies that solve marriage problems. He also said that marriage makes people more realistic. You have to keep your spirits up. However, he still didn't understand what his best friend meant. At this moment, he discovered a business card inserted in the photo frame. This is the consulting company that my best friend mentioned. The man was curious to come to this place. The provincial manager told him that marriage is hierarchical, since his girlfriend worked in a state-owned enterprise. His place in her love has been turned upside down. The man thought this was a place to advise on how to organize a wedding. Unexpectedly, the other party would say words that destroyed his feelings. So he turned around to leave this place. Unexpectedly, the other party said that if he left, his marriage would be irretrievable. Then the other party told him, if you mention marriage now, the girlfriend will definitely turn the topic to the wedding house issue. She meant things that were difficult for him to do. The man tried to ask his girlfriend with the attitude of trying. I didn't expect my girlfriend to really mention the wedding house, and forced him to tell his parents to sell the old house. Buy a new house in Seoul for your wedding. The man said, let's set a wedding date. He said he would find a high-end restaurant next week, arrange for both sides of the family to have a meal, discuss the wedding date. Unexpectedly, the girlfriend at this time was suddenly tense. Asked him why he is in such a hurry. Then said that many of her friends have not yet registered their marriages, still living the days of loving freedom. I know you like freedom too. At this time, the man realized his girlfriend's attitude towards marriage. It has completely changed 180 degrees compared to before she went to work here. Because she was the one who was impatient to get married before. And everything is exactly as the love manager says. When he talked about the specific wedding date, Shell joked to drive on to something else. At this time, the man was extremely panicked. Asked the other person what they need to do to turn the situation around. The love manager said that my condition is that you don't ask such questions. Just do as I say. I will definitely take you two to marriage. Then she handed the man a poop reader. That's why there is a scene of a man reading his girlfriend's phone information. At this time, he knew that his girlfriend was in another man's room. But you still have to obey the management of love. He could only leave this place angrily. It had just dawned, and the girl hurriedly put on her clothes and wanted to leave. I didn't expect my male colleague to say it was early. Then the man took her hand, wanting to review last night's moment with her. The girl used the excuse to go to the toilet and rushed to the toilet. Then turn on the faucet next to it to drown out the sound. At this time, she realized that she had done something wrong, had gone beyond the limit. Look at the phone with dozens of memory calls. With a little hope, she hurriedly sent a message to her boyfriend. Appa, I'm sorry, I just fell asleep, don't worry.
Im Crazy.
By noon, she still did not receive a reply from her boyfriend. So, she took the initiative to call her boyfriend. She opened her mouth and said that he didn't answer the message, so I was worried about calling him. Then he said in a low voice, and he would definitely answer his phone right away. Unexpectedly, the boyfriend only replied leisurely to the meeting and then hurriedly threw off the phone. At this time, the girl didn't know. Actually, her boyfriend followed her last night, seeing her go upstairs with another man. Waited until 23 o'clock in the morning and still didn't see her come out before leaving heartbrokenly. The girl complained to her best friend, saying that her boyfriend's forced marriage gave her a headache. Unexpectedly, his best friend didn't say 2 words. Directly asked her to break up with her boyfriend immediately. As for saying that she is now an official employee of a state-owned company, there are absolutely conditions to find a better man. The angry girl said that we weren't that far yet. You're my best friend, so you understand me. I'm just talking nonsense. But as soon as she explained that she loved her boyfriend very much, then the man texted her last night. Why didn't she try the breakfast made by his own hands and hurriedly left? The man also asked her if it would be convenient to go hiking with her tomorrow. At the man's unexpected invitation, Anmai puts the phone in front of her best friend. Hope my smart best friend can help with the process. My best friend said, of course you have to go. Let the other party know your intentions. And he also had to determine what he meant soon. Only then could he choose between him and his boyfriend. The girl listened to her best friend and went to meet on time. At this time, the man said that if you are in too much of a hurry, you are here to apologize to me. Anmai also said that I was drunk. I'm really not an arbitrary person. At this moment, the girl stumbled upon a stone. The phone also fell to the ground. Unexpectedly, the love photo of her and her boyfriend was also revealed. She panicked and wanted to hide the photo, but how to avoid the other party's gaze? So she decided not to do it. If you have done it, you will do it to the end. That, I'll cherish you. To be honest, I'm considering a relationship with my boyfriend. I'll cherish you. Please believe me, I'm honest with you. Get a solid answer from the other party. Anmai couldn't help but smile slightly. Then immediately said that I would break up with my boyfriend immediately. The man said that today is like the first day we are dating. To celebrate this special moment, let's find a beautiful scenic place to take pictures. Then immediately, he pulled Anmai's hand to the side of the cliff. At this time, the girl only felt that she was the happiest woman in the world. The two officially confirmed their relationship. The man encouraged the girl to show the photo, but unexpectedly he turned around. He accidentally pushed Anmai down the cliff, but fortunately, he was quick, holding the hand of this future girlfriend. The man constantly encourages the girl to believe in herself. But because the girl wore silk gloves, in the end, she still fell off the steep cliff. At this time, the man was extremely panicked. There was a constant cry of sympathy. What should I do now? Just like that, the girl fell and broke her bones, lying in the hospital. Even if he recovers and is discharged from the hospital, he cannot walk normally as before. Looking at her boyfriend quietly beside her, the girl felt extremely affectionate. She cried and said that she was just momentarily out of control. I will definitely not make this mistake again in the future. I am really wrong. Please forgive me, okay? Appa, my boyfriend said I had suffered a lot before. I'd rather work part-time by myself to make money, or let me help you pay my tuition fees. My momentary mistake is not unforgivable. I can completely understand you. After speaking, he hugged his girlfriend tightly in his arms, but at this time he showed a strange smile. My mission here is over. I have succeeded in helping you pull down the level of Wyme. Not long after, the man was promoted to the head of the department. The female colleague was charming to see the promotion list, constantly being cute and lovely beside him. At this time, the man seemed to smell a special smell, then immediately hid his girlfriend's photo elsewhere. In the days that followed, the female colleague did not stop seducing him. It's the same in company meetings, and it's even clearer when working on a daily basis. She didn't hide her intentions from him. But it's not so easy for my girlfriend to be in the hospital. It's hard for her to move. Even when she fell when she went to the bathroom, the messages sent to her boyfriend never received a reply. What made her even more desperate was that she received a notice of dismissal from the company at this time. When the girl fell into extreme despair, things suddenly took a turn. That day, she found a business card on her hospital bed. Seeing the other person is a marriage problem solver. So she made an appointment to meet that person once, and the manager said that marriage was very realistic. Everyone will look for someone who is suitable for their level as a life partner. Therefore, she should not blame her boyfriend. If she doesn't confidently raise her level, then it is possible to lower the opponent's level to achieve that. And I'm a person who specializes in this. I just hope he won't leave. It's okay to stay by my side forever. I accepted. Her taste helped the two of them return to the same level. At this time, the girl still didn't know. In fact, she became what she is now because her boyfriend had asked this mistress manager for help. In the end, the man chooses to betray love. But when he was sinking, he was attacked in the eye by the enemy. When he woke up again, He found himself in an abandoned house. Looking in the mirror, he saw a look in his eyes. The man kept screaming in pain. Just like that, he returned to his girlfriend. He hugged his girlfriend in a wheelchair tightly. At this time, both of them determined that the other person was the one who would be with them forever. Their wedding took place as planned. The bride is so beautiful and charming. It's just that now she has to sit in a wheelchair, and the groom is extremely handsome. If you don't look closely, it's hard to see the problem in his eyes. Eventually, the man became like his friend. I feel that this marriage is fake. The fat man who had an affair was examined by his wife. The lover stormed into the toilet to make it an adult. The manager has come here. Wait for me. He went home right here. Why did you become a manager? Do you go to bed with the manager? Don't be nonsense anymore. The director is respectable. Let's attack the strong management. I have to go. Something bad happened at home. Faced with the constant invitation of his mistress, Jemri still did not bother to notice. Although he likes to be promiscuous outside, he is very afraid of his wife. If his wife finds out, he will not be able to continue to be happy. But the mistress forced it non-stop. Tonight, I will definitely force Jair to stay. Then he picked up the phone and tried to call his wife, unless she arranges for a position in the company. After listening to it, he felt very uncomfortable. In his heart, he began to hate his mistress. The mistress did not notice anything unusual. Continued to threaten to dribble. If you want to brush your hands and not accept responsibility, don't do it. She would expose their secret affair, causing the body to lose fame. He could only suppress the anger in his heart. Already frustrated, he also met two people arguing to block the stairs. It made me even more frustrated in my body. But bad luck has not stopped. When you return your room card at the front desk, suddenly a card stuck in his hand. The card inserts into the nail. It hurts so much that I gritted my teeth and looked at the card. It turned out to be a tarot card. It is the number 0 card in a set of 22 Great Arcana cards. The Fool seems to be mocking the bad luck of the thief. However, this is just the beginning. In the middle of the night, it is more difficult to call a taxi. Finally left this unlucky hotel. I got into a taxi to go home, but my wife called to check again. Gimdri had to lie a little. Say that as soon as you leave the company, you will go home right away. The driver immediately realized that he was secretly playing outside. At this time, the phone is running out of battery. He asked the driver to charge for help. The driver took the opportunity to chat with the driver. It's okay, we're all men. Women all interfere in our external affairs. The driver did not hesitate to share with the driver, even exchanging love techniques. When excited, he also made illustrations. This makes even a seasoned person have to be silent, while he didn't know who was the master. At that moment, a shipper suddenly rushed out from behind the car. Half of the collision caused the collision, causing the driver to utter a few swearing. What kind of car are you driving, this crazy guy? These guys don't like to live anymore. The driver slammed on the brake pedal and rushed forward, cursing the turtle. Hey, little, that one god. Go kill you. Jem dragged to sit behind the soul. This driver is not only enthusiastic, but also very fast. Gimra was a little unbearable. I want to get my phone back from the driver to get out of the car. But the driver told him to stay calm. Hey, they're all dog snails. Hearing the oily man continue to curse, his hands still did not stop moving. Then he saw a tattoo on his back. Gimra felt fear in his heart. Suddenly discovered that there was a leather bag under his feet. Except the moment when the oil man spoke to himself. He secretly opened the leather bag, surprised to find an ID card. But the person on it is not the driver. More frightening is the identity card sticking to the blood. What are you doing? Ah, my thick rope slipped. What are you doing? He quickly looked at the road. This is my previous guest who forgot about it. Jair immediately identified the oil man as lying, because he suddenly saw the driver's photo of this car. Gimra immediately imagined that the oil man was the one who had already been in the car. At this time, the oil man's phone rang. He didn't hesitate to stop pressing the listen button. Yes, what's wrong? Senior brother, where have you been? We're coming. Today's hunt. The buyer told us to hurry up and go to the transaction. Okay, Chow will handle it quickly. Gam Dai listened, but was dumbfounded. And the oil guy hung up. The car accelerated. But he suddenly realized that the direction of the car was not the road to his house. The driver explained that the road ahead is being repaired. He was going to take a detour. There will be no additional charge for the game. Immediately after that, turn off the cash register. Gimra was worried at this time. The car quickly turned into a stopped road. The driver suddenly stopped the car. Looking through the rear-view mirror, the silence is full of implications. Then he said that he got off the car for a while. By the way, bring your phone. Leave the waiting room in the car. Gimra fell into a frenzied fantasy again. The driver got out of the car and started calling. Gam was as hot as a burning fire. Thought that this person could call his accomplices. I couldn't help but be curious. He sneaked out of the car, intending to overhear what the driver said. But his words shocked him severely. How much does it end up getting rid of all the zero? But the liver and kidneys are still new. Do you want to buy it? This time, you must take a high price. Because the goods this time are very delicious. Hurry up and find that person. Did you know? After listening to it, he felt like he had lost his soul. He inadvertently confronts a dark line involving the human body. Gimra just wanted to run away at this time. But the legs were soft.
Can't stand.
Fell to the ground. What's wrong? What did you do to startle you? Gimra was scared and didn't know what to do. The whole person stood stunned, like a wooden statue. Did you come out to deal with your sadness? I asked him if he had to deal with it. That's right. Let's go inside. It's too cold. Under the constant request of the bride, she reluctantly returned to the car. He wanted the bride to drive home. But the bride said goodbye. Is there anyone else coming? It's just a buyer. It's like that intermediary transaction. Hearing the bride say this, the floating heart of the bride was silent. Instead of waiting to be laughed at, just take action first to defend yourself. Immediately, he slammed the bride with a ballpoint pen.
Consider me a solid pig.
The thing to blame. After taking down the bride, she threw away the one in his place on the spot. Prepare to drive away from here. But the bad luck is that the car is stuck, unable to drive away. Once bad luck has clung to you, you will slide into the hole in any way you dodge. Gim dragged helplessly to drive forever without being able to do so. When she didn't know what to do, the bride's phone received a message. The message says the buyer is coming. And the two sides met for the first time. There is no way to do it. He could only pretend to be a human parts dealer instead of the bride. Soon, a small truck slowly approached. The two big men got out of the car, not saying a word of redundancy. They want to check it out right away. Jemri asked the two people to help push the car. The car was quickly pushed out. Gimdri pretended to be a professional. Terrifying. What the hell is this? No matter what I say, I won't listen. So, I took the first step. Seeing the teacher in the back seat, the two were immediately dumbfounded. The goods are still fresh. The two of them looked at the fat man in front of them. It is impossible to judge by appearance. The two asked to open the car cup. And this is what they want to buy. What's wrong with that fat name? Unfamiliar. Is this a deer? Unfamiliar. Why don't you know anything? At this time, the big bride was also fast. Forcing the thin man suggested that they just pretend not to see. Just take the deer away. At this time, he reported to his wife again. Say that you have encountered some problems on the road. He'll be home in a while. After the call, Gamri also asked attentively if he needed help. Turning his head to look at the cup of the car, his whole body was immediately paralyzed. It turned out that he had a wild imagination. The other driver didn't have to trade the components in his body. Just a hunter. Thinking of killing the wrong guy, he couldn't control himself at all. The other two didn't know what to do, either. If you report to the police, the wildlife trade will be exposed. The two sides looked at each other nervously. It is recommended to ask for help transfer the pensioner to the car first. When he didn't notice, the big oil man took the initiative first, prepared to control and leave. Who would have thought that Gimri looked gentle and honest? But when provoked, he will become a person who does not hold his eyes. The two of them were not opponents at all. He was dragged to counterattack each person with a stick. Cut away all these blames to disprove the evidence. 3 people were neatly packed in a taxi. Then fill the car with a tank of gas. Light the car and leave in style. He didn't dare to drive the truck away, but chose to walk down the mountain. On the way, he called his wife again, saying that he was coming home. My wife knew he was lying. Tell him to send the location. Gamdri pretended to lose the signal and then turned off the phone. Gimra was walking on his way home. A police car chased from behind. The police got out of the car and tried to arrest him immediately. But the police could not know so quickly about the dripping of people in the mountains. The reason for his arrest must have been another case. Just a few hours earlier, in the hotel room with a sigh of checkout, a woman's teacher was found to be turned yellow with a pen. It turned out that when he was about to leave the hotel, Tang immediately called his wife. Din denounced the affair between them and told his wife to go to the hotel to catch him. Unexpectedly, this action caused a hyperactive reaction. He also brought disaster to his body. When she picked up her phone to look, she found that her lover had not called. It was only deliberately teasing the grievance, but the gyre overreacted, momentarily impulsively causing a crime. At this time in the police car, he tried to explain. Sometimes he said that if his wife found out, his life would be over, and sometimes he said that his life was threatened, so he had to resist. Then he said that he met people on the black market, talking nonsense incoherently. It made the police suspect whether he had a mental problem or not. Go to the police station and talk slowly, listen to the police. His eyes were full of murderous ferocity, and he gradually lost control of the pen in his hand. And so he continued to harm people. It was really hard today. The car he sat in met with this collision, and he almost lost his life. Gimra called his wife again to report, but also quickly returned home. You're lying again. I contacted the manager's assistant. What is the company doing today? Is there any gathering? No, the manager made an appointment for me to go out. Why didn't the whole company gather? Even though he is a mad killer on the outside. But when I met my wife, I still didn't dare to say it out loud. I only dared to keep my voice down, and I just said that I would go home right away. But looking at the cypress like this, it seems that he can't go home today. The drummer is taken from the chest of the tarot card that symbolizes the fool. Thus the clown in the card also mocks like a fool. The tarot's two-sided illusion is like adventure, in contrast to contempt and recklessness. He throws tarot cards and a personal ballpoint pen into the cabinet, intending to let this bad luck continue to spread. And a strange curl in the closet will be answered in the third story. The girl shyly invited him to deliver the goods into the house. She said that the puppies born by her cat were very cute. Then, in front of his stunned gaze, she slowly lifted her skirt, revealing her big, sexy legs. The guy looked annoyed, told her to wash her face and look in the mirror, and then turned her back and walked away without looking back. Unexpectedly, he insulted a very perverted fat girl. Dao 1000 is the king of delivery in the region, thanks to its beautiful appearance and super fast speed, delivering an average of 200 orders per day. But he also has bad habits, likes to choose female customers to deliver goods. After all, handsome boys are loved. That day, when he received an order from a customer, he opened the drawer, and there was a curl of human hair inside. Dao Qian picked it up and sniffed it, and found that there was an unpleasant fishy smell, and immediately threw it away, and then found a card in the cabinet. Pick it up and see that it is a tarot card, the number 3 card in the set of 22 great evil cards, the High Priestess. Dao Qian didn't know what this was, thinking that this was a lucky card, so he conveniently put it in his pocket, and still started from here, not long after. In the middle of the night, Dao 1000 received an order to deliver to the 816 Rose apartment. Through the order, Dao 1000 knew that the customer was a woman, so he immediately rang the doorbell, thinking that he would meet the beautiful again. The result of the door opening was a girl weighing more than 100 pounds, and she was very happy to see the handsome face of the shipper. Dao Qian turned his head and ran immediately without looking back. The girl immediately called Dao Qian to stop and wait for a while. Dao Qian, because he didn't want to be underestimated, had to turn around and ask the girl what was wrong. Who would have thought that the girl didn't know where to bring out a glass of water, wanted to invite Dao Qian to drink a little water, and then leave. Dao Thousand stood in place, shy. There was no chocolate-flavored milk. Usually girls would give him chocolate milk. This was the first time she saw the donation of water. The Thousand Sword was only intended to drink for her, but the girl looked like she didn't drink at all, so she didn't pay. Dao Qian had to endure drinking the whole glass of water in one breath, and after drinking it felt strange, it smelled fishy, and it was still a little salty. The more Dao Qian thought about it, the more nauseous he felt, and his whole body felt unwell. Waiting for the sword to leave, the fat girl secretly opened the door to observe his reaction. Dao Qian hurriedly ran to the convenience store to buy a bottle of water to help Karma, washing away the strange smell in his mouth. The next day, the Thousand Sword received an order from the 816 house again. Before ringing the bell, the Thousand Sword sighed, and just as he was mentally prepared, the door opened quickly, startling the Thousand Sword. It seems that the fat girl has become already at the door. This time there are no more customers, and after giving the food, she plans to go right away. The fat girl didn't know where to take out a loaf of bread and handed it to the sword. This time the sword resolutely refused. Who knew that there was ice cream or something else in the cake? Seeing that the fat girl was still trying to squeeze it, she had to pretend that there was a phone call. Why don't you call anyone? You're so smart. Why don't you realize that I don't want to eat? The fat girl looked disappointed and then took out a large bill, saying that it was a waste of money for this delivery. Seeing the money, Dao Qian's attitude softened a lot, and she was about to bend down to receive the money, and the fat girl teased Dao Qian strangely. Dao Qian ran out of words. This fat girl is very funny. Dao Qian just wants to take money and stay away from the fat girl. The fat girl thought that the Thousand Sword had accepted her, the one who delivered so much, and could meet again. Isn't it too miraculous? It's not exactly like that. There is no luck. If it was another shipper uncle, I would definitely not let people in. Dao Qian really didn't know what to say. At 6:55 a.m., every day at this hour, I would place an order and call him at this time. After hearing this, Dao Qian stood on the spot. He seriously suspected that the fat girl had a problem. Immediately afterwards, Dao Qian smelled a foul smell, exactly like the smell on the dip in his hair that he smelled last time. In the evening, Dao Qian was delivering goods. Suddenly the phone sounded the order. Looking at the time, I saw that it was exactly 655. Miss Fat's order had indeed arrived. Unexpectedly, the fat girl really increased the price. Only wanted to be handed over by 1,000 knives, and the 1,000 knives did not want to accept this application. While hesitating, the car behind him kept pressing and urging, and in the end, the sword still accepted the application and came to the door of the fat girl's house again. As soon as the door rang, the fat lady appeared, holding the money in her hand. Can I talk to you for a while? No, do you have a girlfriend? No, I searched online and found that shippers often meet female customers without clothes, so have you ever met Appa? Dao Qian really didn't understand in her head that she was fat, but what was that? He just wanted to take her money and leave quickly. But the fat girl was encroached on. Did he like this kind of thing? Dao Qian felt that his personality was seriously offended, and after giving him food, he planned to leave immediately. The fat girl still didn't let go. She didn't care about the 1,000 swords at all. But she was in a hole. The 1,000 swords couldn't stand it anymore. He knew that she was fat with thick skin, but he didn't expect her face to be so thick. Dao Qian said that he only likes gay people, he doesn't like fat, and he asks her to spare him. The fat girl didn't seem to understand the human language. Did you go inside? Dao Qian was completely crazy. If he didn't give her a lesson, he didn't know how disgusting he was. Then he threw the money away from the fat girl, telling the fat girl not to bother anymore. She was so fat that she looked even fatter, and suddenly slammed the door. Dao Qian is also a shameless clingy, waiting for the fat girl to enter the house. He sneaked back to pick up the money on the ground. Dao Qian thought that he had finally escaped the thick disturbance. But the next night, the Thousand Sword received a phone call from the delivery headquarters. The manager informed the executioner someone complained about Mr. T's attitude. Before being removed from the bad review, the account of the Thousand Sword could not receive the application. Dao Qian was furious. Thinking about it a little, this was definitely the intention of the fat girl. So, he immediately came to the door of the fat lattice house again and called outside the fat lady before slowly opening the door. Looking at the fat girl's arrogant eyes, Dao Qian must have caused trouble herself. He wanted her fat to destroy the bad judgment and spare him once. The fat girl didn't wait for the Thousand Sword to finish speaking, closed the door, and then brought a garbage bag through the door. There was also money for the executioner, asking him to help dispose of the garbage, and then continued. Because of the money, he had to comply. When throwing out the garbage, the Thousand Sword suddenly discovered that the shoes were stained with an unknown yolk substance. So he angrily threw the garbage bag away. When he came home to clean his shoes, he found that this red heart was a little strange and even had a faint smell of blood. On Tuesday night, the Thousand Sword came to beg the fat girl to cancel the evaluation. This time, the fat girl didn't say a word and continued to throw a garbage bag to Dao Qian, telling him to go and throw it away for her. The Thousand Sword holding the garbage bag felt unusually heavy. Immediately afterwards, the Thousand Sword discovered a plastic bag full of soup reserves. Curiosity prompted Dao Qian to open the plastic bag, and a stench crept into his nose. Unexpectedly, the Thousand Blades found a piece of meat, which was a piece of meat with a skin belly. Although he didn't know what kind of meat this was, the level of abhorrence made it difficult for the Thousand Sword to bear. To find out if this was pork or some other meat, Dao Thousand told his best friend about this discovery. His best friend taught him how to distinguish between human blood and animal blood. On the evening of the fourth day, the Thousand Sword still came as usual, receiving garbage bags from the girl. Dao Qian took a small piece of meat from a garbage bag, carefully put it in a glass jar. When he went home to test with a human blood test paper, he didn't expect to have a real reaction. Locked out of garbage bags are things that belong to people, and what the Thousand Swords threw away before was not ordinary meat. At this time, Dao Qian was extremely confused, hesitating whether to report to the police. Then the fat girl placed another order on time. A dangerous thought came to his mind. He wanted to catch this fat girl himself. At that time, the murder case can be solved, and it can also be received from fear of the police. So the Thousand Swords summoned all the courage to stand in front of door 816 again. Hesitating for a while, he finally decided to take a risk, knocking on the door for a long time without anyone answering. Suddenly discovered that the door was not locked. It seems that the fat girl deliberately waited for the Thousand Knives to come. After entering the room, the stench went straight to the nose, and the food garbage was piled up like a mountain. Dao Qian looked familiar, but did not see that she was fat, called her fat, but did not see an answer. He then pulled the curtain and walked inside, and on the table were all kinds of tools. There are also scattered meat samples. But the Thousand Swords saw that it was full of meat, and there was a piece of meat with a wing tattoo. Immediately realized that all these pieces of meat were meat taken from her fat body. Dao Qian immediately felt terribly nauseous, hearing that he liked thin people. Only to see in the distance a person as thin as a stick of wood standing there looking at the sword. At this time, Dao Qian realized that the terrifying person in front of him was a fat woman. She was still removing the flesh from her body little by little. Just to be with the sword, the fat girl chose such an extreme way. Dao Qian was scared to the core, seeing the terrifying blood-filled person approaching, wanting to come forward and hug the sword tightly. The Thousand Sword was so scared that the soul flew away, completely forgot to resist, and was not careful to step on the beast's trap. The Thousand Sword was trapped immediately, and the intense pain made the Thousand Sword scream miserably. Fear completely swallowed the sword, and the fat girl decided to let the sword Thousand stay here, forever by her side. A little later, another delivery person received an order from room 816. Inside, The fat girl's charming voice rang out, inviting him to deliver the goods inside. The guy didn't think much about it, but walked in, and as soon as he entered, a rotten smell rose to his nose, and he only saw a sentence on the fried wall. "My dog doesn't know how to bark. The guy thinks it's the owner's dog." When I looked closely, I saw that the thing tied up in the chain shoe was a person, and that person was squeezing liquid into the funnel. The transparent plastic tube of the funnel is connected directly to the body of the knife. At this time, the mouth of the Thousand Sword has been sewn up with a needle, and the Thousand Sword can only rely on it to maintain life. The delivery man was all frightened, crawling on the floor. The fat girl didn't like men to talk much, so she was gagged. Dao Qian signaled the guy not to make a sound, but the guy was finally harmed by her. Forever staying here, the Thousand Sword has accepted its fate, becoming the fat girl's pet. No one knows if Dao Qian will regret his original decision at this time, but everything is in the past. The double-sided darkness of the High Priest Tarot card. Even if you pursue the essence, on the contrary, a person who lacks understanding will fall into madness. Next, we will come to the fourth story. The girl pretended to be a ghost to scare her mother, successfully scaring her mother to the point of crawling on the floor. The daughter laughed happily again, thinking that it was not scary. I didn't expect that the scaring ghosts sometimes really called ghosts. Late at night, the sound was Eun San couldn't sleep. She always heard the sound of falling objects around her. "Oh, Mom, I'm so scared." Eun San was extremely frightened and ran to knock on the door of her mother's room repeatedly. Mother reluctantly opened the door, looking at her daughter, who looked panicked. She asked her son in the middle of the night why he ran here without sleeping. "There was a strange sound in my room, Mom." My mother said it was just a thunderclap. "It's not scary, it's not. It didn't sound like a rumble at all. Hurry up and tell her to go back to the bedroom." "But I can't tell you."
What are you saying?
"Let her hear." My mother affirmed that it was a rumble. Tell her daughter to go to the bedroom quickly. "But I'm afraid." "Hurry up and go back to the room." Mom was still busy studying with Dad. Haven't finished the sentence. The woman bent down and saw something on the sand. When I picked it up, it turned out to be a tarot card, and I thought my daughter deliberately left it at the door. The daughter said that she had never seen it. Mom also lost patience. "Tell me to go to bed quickly." Then closed the door of the room and continued to work with her father. The next day, Eun San held the card and asked Yangzi if he had left the card at her house. Although Yangzi did not admit it, she immediately realized that this was the 17th card of the Great Evil. The star, the mythical character in the card, is inspired by the lake. What is created flows back to the lake. Eun San listened and was dumbfounded. "I didn't know I was a prey." The Eun San family lives in a rich neighborhood. Recently, he often goes back and forth with a poor Yangzi family. Wealthy friends advised her mother not to associate with the poor. It is easy to lower their class. But the mother didn't care. Just because Yangzi's mother is like a maid. Everything is proactive. It's already a free maid, but it's also free to use. Wealthy ladies go out shopping. Just by calling Yangzi's mother to accompany her, she can also be a driver. At first glance, it was like they were taking Yangzi's mother out. But in fact, he treats her as a maid. The ladies sometimes use teasing words. However, the strange thing is that Mother Yangzi does not pay attention to ridicule. But not being able to get along with them made her feel awkward. Entering the luxury store, Yangzi's mother held the phone and pretended to make a call. "Mother Yangzi, didn't you buy anything? Today's price is also very soft." Every time she went like this, she pretended to make a phone call. Mother Yunsen saw that Mother Yangzi was a little pitiful. Immediately after the payment is completed, Forehand gave a gift of a shirt that only cost 50 million won to Yangzi's mother. This money to a rich lady is just like a cow shedding its hair. But it made Yangzi's mother panic. The lady wondered why her mother gave clothes to the other person. Mother Yunsan said that it was just to repay people. That's right, if it weren't for her daughter, something would have happened at that time. But how can there be wild dogs in a high-end area? Remembering the favor that saved his life, he paid attention to her. Not long before, when the eel was playing in the park, he was bitten by a big wild dog. Fortunately, Jongdi appeared in time to chase the dog away and save Mo Yunsan. The two of them have also become friends since then, but this is impossible for rich and poor people. Yunsan always makes it difficult for Jongdi, just like the ladies do to her mother. Yunsan wanted her mother to chase Jongdi's family away, and she asked why you didn't play with Jongdi. He was very annoyed. He's just a rented house, and he's listened to all the mother's conversations. Yunsan, I told you not to be picky when it comes to friendship. Being friends with Jong-yi is like eating junk food. I don't like it, I don't want it. I don't know why she hates Jongdi because Jongdi always threatens her with ghost stories. Yunsan was sitting on the bed playing when he heard the sound again. Yunsan thought that it was deliberately created by Jong-yi, so he continued to play with the doll, and soon the sound rang out again. When it's too much, it's not me, it's that place where you cry. Obnoxious, annoying, curious? Yesterday when you went to the bathroom, when I was out alone, I saw it. What did you see again? Above that place, things kept falling. What did they drop? There was that woman who kept lowering her head 3 times in a row. Bow, bow, bow. After hearing this, Yunsan was a little scared. Didn't you see any traces there? Yunsan lowered his head and looked down at his feet, and there were indeed traces on the ground that resembled a soup. You're too bothered, are you afraid? What are you afraid of? In the evening, that terrifying sound rang out again. Yunsan was awakened, looked around, but there was nothing, but the sound still did not disappear. Yun straightened the girl's hair, looked everywhere, and the whole person was extremely afraid. At this moment, it suddenly fell from above. Yunsan was so frightened that he was stunned, and he stuck his head in his legs and didn't dare to look at it anymore. By the next morning when I woke up, my mother was next to the bed. And Jongdi was also looking at her, and she couldn't tell if last night was a dream or a real one. So she asked Jong-yi about the story last night. Hey, what did you tell me last night? The story of the woman's head falling there, do you want to know? You can see it too. What are you talking about? I'll prove it to you. Immediately, Jongdi was like a witch, placing 2 mirrors in the room and a copper pot in the middle. After lighting a match, Jongdi recited a few mantras. Then throw the burning match into the copper pot to extinguish it. Jian Yunsan closed his eyes, absolutely not looking in the mirror. Jongdi continued to recite the mantra, and the atmosphere became extremely strange. In less than a few seconds, Jong-yi said and came. Bao Yunsan has anything to ask, just ask. Yunsan asked who she was. She said she used to live here. Why did she fall from above?
Because she made a mistake.
She said she had made a huge mistake in this house. So, what did she have to do to leave here? I don't know. She said this, she had to see his expression. Hearing this, Yunsan felt that Jongdi didn't seem to be very prestigious. The little girl suspected that Jongdi was scaring her. So the little girl ignored Jong-yi's warning and looked in the mirror. As a result, immediately afterwards, the mirror suddenly shattered. Jongdi warned carefully of retaliation. Yunsan was madly angry, didn't listen to Jong-yi's apology, turned his back and left. On the other side, at the gathering of ladies, the mother of the Yunsan led Jongdi mother to participate. When the ladies knew that Mother Jongdi was not a rich person, then the contemptuous attitude was immediately revealed. The sarcasm made Jongdi's mother sit there uncomfortably. She had to make an excuse to go to the toilet to avoid embarrassment, but the security guard saw that she was not a guest and did not let her use the toilet. Fortunately, the mother appeared in time, and the new guard allowed Mother Jongdi to pass. Who would have thought that the toilet was full at the right time? At this time, Jongdi's mother was in a hurry, and she couldn't help but wet her pants. When she saw this scene, she couldn't help but feel disgusted. As soon as she got home, she saw her daughter stretching and spreading her child together. After repenting, he learned that Yunsan suspected that Jongdi had jumped on the doll. I said I didn't take it, so what? He was just a beggar, obnoxious. Letting go, the mother was worried that her daughter would be troubled, so she was biased and fell down. immediately led the eunuch to turn his back and leave. Jiangdi's mother heard the news and ran over. Mother Jiangdi dragged Mother Jiangdi into her daughter's room. Ask if you have found your daughter's favorite doll. No one in this house has anything to do with them except them. Jiang Yi's mother said that she had never seen a doll, and Jiang Yi's daughter couldn't spill it. We accepted her in a situation without any one-sidedness. Don't you know? He should probably gather according to his species. Unsan's mother's inadvertent insults and ridicule made Jiangdi's mother cry immediately. Are you crying? It's really funny, true, it doesn't look like he's joking. It turned out that Unsan's mother deliberately hung Jiangdi's mother, just wanting to surprise her on her birthday. At this time, Unsan in his parents' room also discovered his doll. She didn't know that her mother was deliberately hiding here. She even thought that Jiangdi hid it, not because of me. Jiangdi told Unsan to quickly show it to his mother. After watching it, he could exorcise the ghost. You're lying again. What does ghosts have to do with toys? Now, because of this, my mother is being scolded. What should I do? This has nothing to do with me. Unsan is used to the habit of marrow, not knowing that his actions have released the devil, harming the whole family. Jiangdi advised Unsan again, if it doesn't work, destroy or throw away the doll. As if it had never existed, he took a fruit-peeling knife and handed it to Unsan. But Unsan refused again. This is your own choice. Seeing that Unsan did not agree, Jiangdi also gradually came up with the intention of harming people. The two rich women outside the door listened in the room without moving, immediately took out the prepared cake, inserted a candle and brought it into the room. Prepared to surprise Jiangdi's mother. Mother Jiangyi, happy birthday. The surprise has arrived. However, when he looked around, he found that there was no shadow of a person in the room. Immediately afterwards, the two suddenly discovered that Unsan's mother was hanging outside the window. The mouth was also sealed. Oh my God! Hurry up and help me. The two women pulled their mother up together. At this moment, Jiang Yi's mother hid behind the door, decisively moving forward. Violently pushed 3 people down from the 20-story building. The 3 people fell down on the mat on the spot, watching the 3 people leave miserably. Jiang Yi's mother smiled with satisfaction again. At this time, Jiang Yi's daughter suddenly walked in, and Jiang Yi's mother was startled. Then, like a child who makes a mistake and walks to the front of the church. In the end, he admitted his fault, and he apologized, and he was going to show it well. At this time, the daughter was like a mother shaving the woman's head, comforting that it was okay. On the side, Unsan was obviously also harmed by Jiang Yi. I don't know how much time has passed, and there is still a warning rope where it fell. A curious woman came to ask the security guard about the rumors. Are the mothers who fell down here to go to the carpet because of the people in this area? That's all rumors. People are not residents living in this area. So what is it after all? How could she be acquainted with those rich mothers? I don't know, but I haven't seen her since that day. Transitioning. In the park, there was a hand gently stroking the black dog. Unexpectedly, the mother and daughter were stretching, and the daughter's hand was also gently caressing the mother's head. It seems that the identity of these two people is not as simple as the outside. They are the bad people. This time I will definitely find a good friend for you. I will obediently obey my mother. I can't trust people too much. If you also have to eat troublesome things. It was at this time that the mother and daughter found a new goal. Still like Unsan, a stray dog appeared from the beginning. And Jiang Yi is a hero who rescues the little girl. You're standing behind the servant. I'm coming to help you. Don't come here. Mother and daughter are like wandering ghosts. Try to find a goal and then bring hope to people. Wait until hope is gone, then drop everything, look for the next goal. Continue to harm others, over and over again. The 17th card of the Great Arcana is the Star. The front is hope and the beginning. The opposite is disappointment and breakage. The beautiful female streamer jumped boldly in the room, making the top one guy in front of the screen excited. Do not regret taking out your retirement money just to give gifts to the female streamer. Looking at the screen full of gifts, Morocco decided to play bigger. As a professional streamer, she decided to meet the top 1 fans in real life. The two immediately contacted each other. Morocco asked him if he could meet today. "It's a little late to drink. I'll book a hotel." "Isn't it the adult's business that you asked me to meet? If you don't want to, then at 7 p.m., meet at the station." Very quickly, Morocco, wearing black mesh socks, arrived at the hotel she had made an appointment, then knocked on the door of room 308 of the hotel. Discovering that the giant fanboy had not yet arrived, Lean used the room card to open the door and prepare. But as soon as she entered, Morocco suddenly deserved, asking who she was. "I only saw in the bathtub of the room a woman with shaggy hair and ears with her back to her." Morocco took the live stream phone and carefully walked forward, looking around and seeing no one else. "Who is the woman?" Morocco asks. The woman did not react at all. Morocco mustered up all the courage to approach slowly. At this moment, suddenly, when I looked closely, I saw that the head that flew out turned out to be that of a mannequin. At this moment, Morocco suddenly laughed out loud like a madman. "Oh my God, it's too exciting. Have you seen everyone? Have you seen that tree?" After that, I was always scared of fainting. Morocco had installed a camera in the corner of the room beforehand. Morocco's favorite thing is to tease you online. Waiting for a friend on the internet to catch a sentence, he deliberately teased, "Take the bad scene of the fanboy to catch the view." I didn't expect that this idiot would meet a high-handed person. Immediately afterwards, Morocco sneaked a button under the hotel, while streaming live, while waiting for the fanboy to arrive. Of the real ones, gentlemen, I have to be off. I felt so horrible that I was about to vomit. To film the fans' bad scene, Morocco sneaked a button to follow. After entering the hotel, the fanboy was determined to eat Morocco tonight. First, use aromatic spray to make a fragrant mouth. Then check if you have enough raincoats. Why is there only one like this? Fanboy entered the room and politely knocked on the door. Look at the woman who has been waiting in the tub. The fanboy was in no hurry before starting to bow. This guy had just gone inside. He really wanted to carry too much. Looking at the fanboy who was booming but still polite, Morocco couldn't look at it but laughed. "When did you prepare these things? If I had known this beforehand, I would have brought wine with me." The captain flew out, making the fanboy startled, and called his mother. "This name is always called my mother." At this time, the fanboy reacted that he was deceived by the female streamer. Immediately raged to wipe out the female streamer. Obnoxious, hateful, this reprehensible woman. He was mad. "How can I do this?" Fanboy calls Morocco. The ringing of the phone almost revealed Morocco, who was hiding outside. Fortunately, she hung up the call in time. If he hadn't been caught by an angry fanboy, it will definitely be impregnated with a battle. Seeing the angry fanboy leave, Morocco returned to the room. Started showing off her achievements to fans in the live stream room. Looking at the screen full of gifts, Morocco was overjoyed. The obnoxious thing is that every time you trick a person, she both disclosed their personal information. He is from the city of Bukbyong and came here in search of a one-night stand. The username is Bernanoyam Jeong. The username is also distorted. Didn't you say he was a contestant? Can't be a green strawberry lover, right? Morocco thought that deceiving people was over, but danger is imminent. On the way home, I met a traffic jam. At this time, the phone receives a live stream notification. Morocco opened it and looked at it. It turned out to be the fanboy just now. At this point, Morocco thought she had caught me, right? Now it's time to close the road. She must have been in a taxi. You asked me why I understood her so well? Guys, over the past year, I've been a big fan of Myrakov. But that vile woman... It turns out that the chubby fanboy used to be Morocco's biggest fan. Gave gifts to Morocco up to 50 million won. In the end, she ran out of money and was mercilessly abandoned by the female streamer. He knew Morocco liked to play bad. This time, he deliberately came to meet, intending to force some interest. Unexpectedly, Morocco was not in the hotel, but she also played with it. So the fanboy decided to teach Morocco himself. Okay, this place is Morocco's house, and over there is room 1001. Hey, what is called an unauthorized break-in? Do you have a habitual egg? She has already cheated me of 50 million won. I came here today to collect money. Morocco suddenly panicked, asking the driver how long it would take to arrive. The man calmly stopped talking and he also tied his hands. Morocco defiantly, directly pointing to the moisture, asked the driver to take her home quickly. Girl, this is the first time I've seen someone speak like you. The dream flag. It was very unlucky to meet him.
What is it?
Hey, damn it, Morocco doesn't care. Without paying, the car got off and ran away. Hey, that crazy child, don't you pay? No wonder the driver then met the angry fat guy. It turns out that he is mad by the alternate version. Morocco leads the police home, preparing to arrest the intruder, a fanboy. The results of the search all over the house did not find the figure of a giant fanboy. The police searched around and couldn't find it. The door lock showed no signs of being broken. The police could only conclude that no stranger had entered and then turned to leave. Even Morocco thought that the giant fan was just joking, deliberately scaring her. Immediately afterwards, Morocco opened the live stream with peace of mind. He also deliberately criticized the fanboy in the live stream room. That guy used to be a big fan of mine. Actually, he was just a poor man. I also started to force him to bring all his assets to me. Click to see. The fanboy is laughing in a scary way that makes Morocco embarrassed. What is this crazy guy doing? Nervous? As soon as the words ended, Morocco suddenly noticed that something was wrong with the newly replaced micro. I'm going to sue him. Let him obediently squeeze the calendar. My micro is 2 times in line. The strange echo left Morocco bewildered. But when she looked at the computer screen, her whole body was immediately unwell. The computer screen showed herself behind her again. At this time, Morocco was sweating profusely. I don't know how long it has passed. Morocco's live stream friend is a brother who came to look for her. As soon as she walked in the door, she saw Morocco sitting motionless in front of a computer. I thought she was deliberately making a mysterious appearance, so she immediately walked closer. Oh my mother, what the hell? Looking closely, the whole person was immediately paralyzed.
Oh my God, Mom.
The scene in front of him made Brother Do exclaim, Mom, save the baby. Only to see Morocco's head fall on the floor, her body sitting on the chair. There is also a stove on his neck. What had just flown in was the upper part of the Morocco. Brother Do is worthy of a wooden chicken, and this horrible scene is being broadcast live by fanboys. Oh my God, this idiot called me again. The fanboys broadcast room at this time is very exciting. Seeing the broadcast room increasing fans crazy, Fanboy also decided to open his own broadcast column. I will live stream for her goodbye Morocco. Bye 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 bye. As soon as the fanboy finished broadcasting, the comments behind the scenes were still wild. Someone suggested that the fanboy just now live streamed to celebrate again. The result is recognized by everyone, the role of the fisherman, and the fishing is changed immediately. The 8th card of the Great Evil Karna, the War of the Sed or Chariot, is the card of advancing and winning. Morocco earns quite a lot of airwaves, which in turn signifies collapse and failure. But in the end, Morocco also paid the price with her life for her evil behavior. How do Korean women play so badly? I already have a boyfriend, so I just want to let go a little today. Didn't you want to go to the forest with me? I thought you were deliberately pretending to be cute, but it turned out to be a real idiot. Oh my gosh, Jaiwoo is a simple god of love. I just want to fall in love with a normal morning, but I always meet girls who like to play. Just because Jaiwoo is so handsome, wherever he goes, she notices. Even at work, the lady asked for the number. Jaiwoo only has one friend, Diwoo, and every time he goes on a date with his daughter, he dragged Jaiwoo along. As long as Jaiwoo is present, the daughter will easily agree. When they saw Jawoo's appearance, their eyes seemed to melt. But Jawoo's pure love makes even Korean girls shake their heads. Hey, what are you thinking?
Let's talk about it.
Do you believe in the fate of determining love? What is it? Could he be an idiot? He's really too naive. Does he want to eat some heavenly sweets?
Or you can go out and eat something.
Okay, let's go. Let's hold hands. I also want to go with the god of war. Love has fallen again. Although Jaiwoo is very handsome, every time he eats it, he is ugly. The truth proves that no matter how ugly it is, girls still like it as usual. I finally understood why I was single. Just because he was too handsome and too pure, he thought he would be lonely for the rest of his life. But Jaiwoo suddenly received a tarot card, the 7th card of the Great Evil. The lover, Jaiwoo, is about to meet the woman who changed his fate. In the locker at the subway, he found a long curl of women's hair. But the wardrobe was obviously only for him. Curiously, he pushed to open the closet again. Unexpectedly, there was another curl of hair inside. Feeling that something was strange, he immediately used his phone to check the wardrobe. But there was no secret compartment inside, and the strange hair came out of nowhere. He thought that someone was playing a prank, so he wrote a form asking who that person was. Then put the paper form in the cabinet and lock it. When he opened it again, Jaiwoo was happy, and another curl appeared on the paper pattern. He suddenly realized that the wardrobe could connect to the other world. It is recommended to leave a pen and notebook and lock the closet again. Sure enough, there was one more inscription on the notebook, but the words were completely opposite. Jaiwoo could only look through the mirror. I stumbled upon that there was another world on the other side of my closet, but I really didn't expect that there was a real person. Your world over there is just like mine.
Who are you?
Jaiwoo accidentally discovers that there is a person of the opposite sex in a parallel world. The two people who exchanged through the notebook also became more and more close, feeling like a couple of lovers. Jaiwoo gradually falls in love with the woman in the parallel world. The woman told Jaiwoo that her world only met Jaiwoo, but everything happened was the same. Both are in Seoul, and both have the 2021 Cup, and there is also a job for Jaiwoo. It's just that the employee is not Jaiwoo. After chatting for a long time, the woman in the parallel space was also curious about Jaiwoo. Can you hear my voice? Jaiwoo is stressed because he has a habit of stuttering. Fortunately, he still recorded what he wanted to say. Jaiwoo opened the locker, hopefully placing the tape recorder inside. When he opened the tape recorder again, the voice of the parallel space girl touched the scar in his heart. Does your voice sound good? I don't know why, but I'm a little apprehensive. My name is Woo Ji-hun. Until the end, I was just an ordinary office worker. His voice was really good. He can gain confidence. Actually, I'm just like you, I'm not good at communicating with others. I feel isolated for a long time. The two lonely people met, seemingly finding a place to lean on each other, even though they are separated by a parallel space. I also can't help but look forward to every time I communicate. Ji-hun tells Jaiwoo the path she takes every day, where she stayed, and the clover under the building. Every day at work, Ji-hun looks at the clover. Ji-hun also shared about this side of the world. He likes the park the most to sit alone. This feeling is like being in love. But suddenly one day, Ji-hun didn't answer anymore. Why don't you see any sentences inside? Has anything happened to you? Could it be that you did something wrong? Ji-hun was distracted. His life is like that back to the corner where no one asks him as before. When I went to work, my soul hung upside down, and I almost injured a customer. The customer angrily shouted and scolded Jaiwoo. Jaiwoo didn't care how he would be punished by the owner of the restaurant. All of his mind was swept away by Ji-hun's sudden disappearance. Without Ji-hun, he becomes a loner again. In this world, no one needs him. I'm sorry, it's been a long time since I left you a message. You're very depressed, aren't you? After waiting for an unknown amount of time, Ji-hun finally answered. She always thinks that she and Jaiwoo are people from two worlds, so she is very miserable. Falling in love without being able to make her not dare to continue. So Ji-hun came up with a bold idea. Or shall we meet? I miss you very much. Jaiwoo couldn't hold back the nostalgia. He couldn't wait any more minutes. I just want to meet Ji-hun in the parallel space. He ran to the front of the cabinet. Ji-hun told him to open the cabinet at 12 o'clock. At that time, it will open the door to a parallel space. Jeho opened the cabinet at exactly 12 o'clock as Jehun instructed. Inside there was indeed an image of another world, completely opposite to his world. Hey, even the words on the advertisement are reversed. But Jehun didn't appear in front of him. Jeho couldn't control the urge in his heart. Without any hesitation, he hung it in the closet with full hope, completely unaware that there was a warning on the cabinet limiting only one person to pass. When he entered the afterlife, he saw that this was also an underground tunnel. But there was only one cabinet. Jeho walks in the tunnel calling Jehun's name, but Jehun does not appear. As he was about to leave the tunnel, he found himself unable to get out. No matter which way you go out, you will return to the underground tunnel from another entrance. There was absolutely no other place in this place. There was no one either. Not to mention the Jehun girl. Jeho was suddenly confused. When he opened the cabinet again to return, the scene in front of him surprised him.
Who are you?
The woman with her hair was lying and closed the cabinet without hesitation, leaving Jeho in nothingness. No matter how much Jeho asked for help, no one would find out. He will forever be trapped in this space. On the other side, return to the real world. Jehun leaned against the closet with a cold laugh. She finally escaped. To do this, she had to work very hard. How can there be any parallel worlds?
It was all just her lie.
She also accidentally entered that void space. I don't know how long I've been stuck here. Every day counts the days that pass. When she was about to be forced to go crazy, the empty Jeho fell into the trap. A lonely person longs to escape from the abyss. Seeing the hand reaching out from the abyss, people will think it's salvation. Unexpectedly, it could drag them into the abyss even further. He said it was not wrong. In fact, each person has a sense of loneliness, but it will gradually get better. If there can be someone to replace him, that is the principle of this world. The next movie is the end. Thank you everyone for following and supporting. See you in the next videos. Bye bye.